What's up, guys? This is kind of cool because the classical music channel that we always keep on really for the baby, but I kind of like it sometimes, it's playing Star Wars right now. I love that. They're playing the Star Wars soundtrack, which now makes me really want to watch some Star Wars, so we have Disney Plus, so I might go do that. Anyways, guys, if you're wondering what I'm holding, or let me adjust. Sorry if it's a little bit crooked. That's just the stand, how the stand works. So what we have here is what my boy just drove by. I guess he was in the area. I hope he didn't drive out of his way just to drop these off. But he's like, yo, I'm like 90 seconds away. I got some cards for you. What he dropped off are some Japanese and mostly base set old Pokemon cards, just for free. He just like dropped them off is a nice thing. Thank you, Brett. I'm actually really excited for these. I actually just ordered a whole base set near mint condition for $45. Maybe that's a scam, maybe it's not. I'm still waiting on it, and he didn't like block my number or anything, so I'm guessing that it's legit. He has a bunch of other sets on Craigslist, like literally every single set, like Jungle, Rocket, Base 2, Neo Genesis, Neo Discovery. He has like all of them completed for the commons and uncommons, and I have a bunch of boxes that still need cards to fill them in, so I think I might go in that direction if that's legit. But it's funny because even if that doesn't work out and I end up getting scammed out of 45 bucks or 40 bucks, whatever it was, I still got this stack from a friend of mine, which honestly means a lot more than any cards from somebody else. And it's neat. It's really neat. I'm not gonna lie. Save that guy for last. That's a Japanese card. They're not in the best shape, and I'll show you guys, but it just made for really easy content for a video. So we've got, for starting up, the one you know so well, Charmander. Probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite starter for sure. Some people's Squirtle. A couple people it was Venusaur. Bulbasaur. But for me, it's always been Charmander. It's usually always been fire types like Blaziken and Typhlosion, or I guess I should say Typhlosion and then Blaziken, because that's Gen 2 to Gen 3. But yeah, Typhlosion is sick. Typhlosion is so sick. For Alligator's pretty dope too, though. I gotta give it to him. From Blastoise to Feraligatr, there was drastic change there in design, but with kind of that same theme, and I love that. Meganium, or Meganium, which is, I like to call him Meganium. I just like that mega part. He's kind of weird. He's kind of a weird crossover to go to before Sceptile. Trico. Trico is the like lizard grass type, kind of like reminiscent of Bulbasaur. Hard to beat Bulbasaur. But anyways, guys, this is cool. It was some free content, and I told him, you know what, I'll do a video right now after he drops these off. That was all he asked. And I would have done that anyways, because I was looking for more content to do tonight. I just didn't know what to do, and this is the best kind of content because it's old cards. And some of our subscribers honestly would rather talk about the artworks than the actual card pulling itself. So here we have a stack, and we have, we've got Charmander here. He looks really good. It's in pretty good shape for the front. No real bends in this card. And centered really, really well too. There is edge wear on the backs of all of these. I'm not going to get into that too much, but it's very obvious in person. But it's all good. They're still cool. Like, you can just see how roughed up they've been in the proper light. They're pretty darkened around the edges. We've got a Super Potion. These are great for me for the decks that I build out because I need cards like these trainers all the time. So it's perfect for that, and just perfect all around for having this old set. So here we've got our Gloom. This one is actually a first edition. It's a first edition Gloom. It's pretty battered on the back, but the front looks okay. And he's the artwork on him is really kind of weird. It was kind of when that first weird animated artwork started. one of his attacks is Poison Powder, so the defending Pokemon is poisoned, which is super OP because it's just a guaranteed poison. You don't have to roll the dice or anything, and that's why I like still playing the old game, because it was just simple and fun. You've got Foul Odor. Both defending Pokemon in Gloom are now confused, so both the Pokemon are confused, but it still does 20 damage, just so y'all can see that. It still does 20 damage, so that can be pretty effective, especially if they roll wrong, and then out of confusion, I think it's 30 damage. It's pretty crazy. I think it's you take 30 damage if you end up hitting yourself out of confusion. Please, someone correct me if I'm wrong. Other Brett, there's actually 2 Bretts on here that are subscribers that are my homies. One is one of my good friends, and the other one happens to comment on a lot of the videos. I like both y'all, but I just thought that was really funny. Okay, so we've got super iconic Bill. Just, you know, a basic draw 2 trainer card. Really, the game was so simple. He's got that brick wall. These in high PSA value fetch a good amount of money. This one, however, is bent to oblivion, and that is no exaggeration. I wonder if you can actually see that a little bit better, guys. I'm gonna try and pan it really slowly so you can see the ripples and the bends. I don't know if you guys can catch that at all, but I love the Star Wars music in the background. Guys, that was not intentional at all. I had no idea the classical music station, my tongue just got tied up. Okay, next Pokemon. So it does Scratch for 2 of any damage, and it does Spore. The defending Pokemon is now asleep. So that's really effective because they have to roll out of being asleep, and if they never wake up, they just take damage over damage over damage, and it does Scratch, which does 20, and that's pretty sizable damage for the older Pokemon. Paris is also has really amazing that hand-drawn artwork. This one is actually from the Jungle set, so I'm getting a little bit of both base and jungle, but it also only has 40 HP, which makes it like really tough to get very far with these, and then Pikachu, which was 30 HP. There's a Pikachu with 30 HP. I think that's the Jungle set Pikachu, Red Cheeks Jungle set Pikachu. But, you know, if he got hit one time, you know, he could be out. But anyways, cool artwork. We've got our Vulpix, which is extremely iconic. Not only was it a cool card that girls at that time liked, the girls that were into the game, but it evolves into a really, really cool Pokemon that's one of the more important Pokemon because it's in one of the theme decks, the Brushfire theme deck. Vulpix evolves into Ninetales. So what's funny is it's all of these Vulpix were made as error cards. So none of them are really special because they're all like this, but it says 50 HP. It's supposed to be, or no, it says HP 50. It's supposed to be 50 HP, but it says HP 50, which is kind of just one of those funny, weird things. I don't know if it's catching that because I'm so blind as a bat, but I really need to wear my glasses if I'm doing these videos. We got a nice base set, Fire Energy. These are definitely not cheap. They're hard to get in good condition, and this one is in very, very good condition. I have a huge stack of Fire Energies that this will definitely go into. We got a base set. Psychic Energy, and now I'm actually gonna check if these are shadowless. This one is not shadowless. This one is not shadowless. So he got it when it came out, but not too old. This is not the Super Potion is not shadowless, and this one has a crease in the top middle. But like, oh, this makes me want to actually play the game. And then one of my favorites, who unfortunately has a lot of edge wear, Starmie. I mean, this thing is, I think I can catch this on camera. You can see the edge wear of that corner right there. You can just see how battered and bruised this guy is. But I was just telling you guys the other day when I pulled from the newer set Fusion Strike, I pulled a holographic Starmie. I was just telling you guys how much I like Starmie. Starmie is sick. So damn, and that's only a common. That's such a cool card. Oh, and I forgot. Vulpix's attack is Confuse Ray. Flip a coin if heads, defending Pokemon's confused. So that's really, really OP if you end up confusing them and they end up not being able to snap out of confusion and flip tails before their attack and then do 30 damage to themselves. And Vulpix has 50 HP, so he's doing pretty good. Confuse Ray only does 10, but he's doing pretty good. Starmie's attack, Recover. Discard 1 water energy attached to Starmie. Remove all damage counters from Starmie. Now Starmie can only get up to 5 damage counters, 50 damage. So it's helpful. It's definitely helpful. It's just it would be a lot more helpful if Starmie had like 70 or 80 HP. It would be a lot more worthwhile to do that, because removing your energies in the older game, you only get like 15, or wait, maybe it's 30 energies to a deck, but they're also scattered all throughout the deck. And you get so many Pokemon, I feel like in the older deck, that you're like trying to juggle what Pokemon to put and where to use your energy best. And this is why I really want to get into recording playing the game. My wife actually knows very well how to play the old Pokemon game, and that's where I'm so lucky that like she actually can play and knows how to play. And then I actually wanted to learn how to play, even though it's been this long. It's so simple and fun, and it brings back great memories. Okay, so we've got Cubone, but it's a first edition Cubone. So you see the first edition symbol right here. So it's nice to get the occasional first edition. I always sleeve my first editions. In fact, I'm going to sleeve both that and Gloom, as well as Charmander. Despite the wear on him, I still think those are all cards that can see more value down the road. Okay, so I got my sleeves right there. I'll deal with that in a bit. So we've got also, just to talk about those real quick, because I didn't even talk about Cubone yet, or Charmander. Charmander, I'm going to put this over here. Charmander has 2 attacks. The first one can use any energy you have, which those are great attacks, because sometimes you mix up the energies in your deck, or you don't get the ones you need. If the defending Pokemon attacks Cubone during your opponent's next turn, any damage done by the attack is reduced by 20. So if it's 20 or 10, Snivel just like basically says your attack did nothing. Cubone is a 40 HP Pokemon, so he doesn't have a lot of life. So he needs an attack like that to kind of give him time to stack his second energy, which gives him Rage. If you've watched the newer Pokemon movie with the real life animation, he pretty much goes into a rage. That's what Cubone does. He gets really, really angry, then he runs at you with, in the movie, he's like this big. He's like the size of like a large, like a softball, basically. Like, I don't know. Maybe he's like 2 softballs maybe in his size. But Cubone is this tiny little thing running at you with this big stick ready to throw it at you full speed. I don't know. It's kind of a menacing, cute, derpy Pokemon at the same time. And that's where they did so well with the older Pokemon. And that artwork is great. He's just sitting on a stone contemplating life. My camera does not do cards like this any justice at all. So Rage does 10 damage plus 10 more for each damage counter on Cubone. So if you're using Snivell a lot to cut their attacks, if they do 30 or 40, then you're adding just enough damage to use Rage. The only issue with that is, well, Rage could be very good if you're just keeping counters on Cubone, and then your opponent has to swap out a Pokemon. If all they have is a weak Pokemon that can only do 10 or 20, they're screwed, because his next attack is going to be Rage again, and even if he has a lot of damage counters, he'll be able to team wipe, just like that. Okay, so, got a lot of cards that I like. I have the 2 first editions, the Charmander, and these base set energies, which are great for building out decks that I sell. So thank you, Brett. Seriously, stuff like this is just hard for people to find and then be like, hey, just have this. and I'm on a platform where I can actually speak about this stuff, and people want to listen to me speak about this stuff, I think. Okay, so Venonat. Venonat has 40 HP. He's kind of like a moth, bug, vampire-looking like thing. It's really hard to explain this. They were really out there, I'm sure, when they made this design, or a couple drinks deep, or whatever you do. Stun Spore, flip a coin if heads, a defending Pokemon's paralyzed, and it does 10. So paralysis in the older game, they have to flip out of it, but they don't do damage to themselves. But if you just keep flipping tails before an attack, you're just going to take damage because you're paralyzed. Super effective. Takes 1 energy and does 10 damage. Leech Life. Remove a number of damage counters from Venonat equal to the damage done to the defending Pokemon. Okay, so Leech Life, you do 10, it does 10 damage, so you do 10, and then you take 10 as well. Ooh, that's kind of nice. I mean, I guess it's the same thing as doing 20 damage, but it could be different for different situations. Anyways, here's the art for Venonat. You see it's like a moth, and like the big bug eyes, but then it's got those vampire fangs. And he's in a thing of grass. Super iconic card. I freaking love purple and red. Those two colors look great. I think that's why I like Starmie so much too. There's a lot of like purple in these Pokemon because you've got Gloom. We already talked about Gloom, but this is a normal Gloom. We got a really rough beat up Item Finder, but I feel like Item Finder. Oh, this is a shadowless item finder. Get out of town. That's cool. So this is a shadowless item finder. It's in really rough condition. What I might try to do is use a little bit of Windex to give this thing just a surface buff, because this item finder could still get a grade. It would probably get a grade of like a 3 or 4, but if I'm right, I feel like item finders are actually worth something, or there's tons of them and they're not worth anything. But just looking at this card, I'm kind of like, feel like, and it's shadowless, which is even better. Yeah, it's a rare. It is a rare. It's a rare trainer, so there can't be millions of them. I'm going to have to look into this, guys. I'm going to have to look into this. Item Finder is, I think, something. And it is the only card that I've seen thus far that is a shadowless. I mean, I would know based on the way the Pokemon have their shadowless margins. But I guess between the trainers and the energies. So that means there could be other shadowless cards in here, which means the very first set that came out after first edition shadowless. Because these first editions are after shadowless, which came after first edition shadowless. It's a lot, but once you figure it out, you just know these things. We've got Oddish, which has Stun Spore, does 10 if it's paralyzed. Sprout, it does 10 and flip a coin. If heads, it's paralyzed. Pretty effective. Oddish is an animated one, so I don't like that. I never did like animated cards. Sprout, search your deck for a basic Pokemon named Oddish and put it into your bench. Shuffle your deck afterwards. Search your deck for a basic Pokemon named Oddish. So, okay, you could get multiple Oddishes, or I guess if you have a lot of energies, you could pull Oddish out of your deck if you needed more Pokemon. I always loved this art. I know it's just a common card, but this one actually looks absolutely flawless. Like, this one almost looks like it's like a PSA 10 Goldeen. But I know nobody cares about PSA 10 Goldeens. Just has a basic horn attack, but it's a really cool Pokemon. Got that, like, it's like a fish morphed with a rhino. Pretty cool. Well, not really. It's just a horn on a fish. But I don't want to oversimplify it. We got another Oddish. It's in really good condition. I feel like the cards sitting in the middle of this stack are in good condition. We got a Mysterious Fossil. It's just a base set card. Or no, fossil set card. Still cool. You know, you want everything. If you're gonna collect them, you might as well collect them. I don't even have a lot of fossil cards, so that'll be nice just to have some cards in the fossil set. Okay, we've got another fossil card, Energy Search. It's really cool. I mean, I feel like the fossil card kind of spoke for itself. Not much to say there. But this energy search is really cool. It's got like a robotic arm and stuff, and it looks like some kind of, I guess those are your energies, and that's kind of like a cool animation of what the energies would be. I never actually looked at them and thought of it like that. Like, what would energies in a more realistic format look like? Anyways, we got a lass. I actually needed one of these when I was building a deck. I feel like it, I don't know which one it was, but yeah, lass is a dope art trainer card. We got an uncommon Japanese Persian, which that's always neat. I don't have any Japanese cards. I used to have a lot of Japanese hollows, and it's in really good condition as well. We've got one that a lot of people like. It's a derpy one, but a derpy one done right. And you've got your evolutions for it that are sick. We've got Tail Wag, flip a coin. If heads, defending Pokemon can attack Eevee during your opponent's next turn. I guess just to kind of buy yourself a little bit of time to get to your double energy attack, which is quick attack. It's 2 of any energy. Flip a coin. If heads, this does 10 plus 20 more damage. If tails, this attack does 10. So a little bit of a gamble, but also very effective to get that first hit off. And if you get the next hit off, 2, you can do 60 damage in 2 hits. And Eevee still has 50 HP, so pretty OP little guy. And obviously beautiful artwork. He's in a field doing his thing. We've got the Staryu. Again, I love Staryu and Starmie. I like Misty. I like the Misty theme deck. He's just chilling out in the sun. This was probably one of the few animated ones that I think are really, really cool looking. Like, that orb just looks so well, like, real and lit. And for $19.99, I don't know, it's a really good job. But then, like, stuff like Ghastly, Sleeping Gas, flip a coin if heads, defending Pokemon's asleep, Destiny Bond, discard 1 psychic energy attached to Ghastly in order to use this attack. If a Pokemon knocks out Ghastly during your opponent's next turn, knock out that Pokemon. So, I don't know. I feel like Ghastly is kind of a gamble to use. You're just getting it so you can get to Haunter. It is a ghost Pokemon. The animation for it is really not good. It's really not good. I mean, it's cool because it's an older card, but it's not good. Like, in the background, you can see Kiwa City, Muggle, and you can see like stuff kind of spray painted onto a wall. But it's not the best. I guess that gives you an idea. It's like in shady places. I don't know. They were the artists at that time. They were the artists. But it's crazy how they haven't evolved. I feel like now. I feel like they're going backwards now. But it's hard to beat the originals, right? We've got this Drowsy that's in pretty good shape. It's got 1 attack pound for 10, and then another attack, Confuse Ray, takes 2 psychic energies. Flip a coin, the defending Pokemon's confused. It does 10 damage. Artwork for Drowsy is pretty dope. We have a base set energy removal. Choose 1 energy card attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon and discard it. Super effective when you're starting a full-on offensive and you just want to, your opponent's maybe out of energies or doesn't have any cards in their hand, and you're just making it that much harder for them by removing an energy from most likely their attacking Pokemon. It says one of your opponent's Pokemon, so that means it could be on the field or it could be on their bench, which could be effective for other reasons too, but we won't get into that. Horsey. This is a great artwork. Smokescreen. Defending Pokemon tries to attack during your next turn. Your opponent flips a coin. If tails, the attack does nothing. This is from Fossil Set. It does 10 damage. But it has Smokescreen, and of course, in the artwork, it's under the water, and it's got a Smokescreen, and basically, it's just going to do 10 damage little by little. We've got another Energy Search. It is just Fossil Energy Search. We've got a regular base Fighting Energy. We got like 1 of each of these energies though. It's always nice. We got a Jungle Mankey. Who doesn't like Mankey? That artwork is sick. He's like flying through a jungle. And he has a Pokemon power, which Pokemon powers are cool too. Once during your turn before you attack, you can look at one of the following top card of either player's deck. Oh, one of yours or one of your opponent's. That could be a big advantage. Or one of each player's prizes. So if you don't know Pokemon, you have 6 cards that are your prize cards. What I love about this mat that I do with these videos on is it's a vintage mat that came in one of the gift boxes, and it basically is in mint condition, and it's just, it lays out where your prize cards would be. It has Pokemon on it. I've shown it to you guys before. I'll just show it to you guys again real quick. It's just a really, really cool mat. It's got like Beedrill on it, and it's got Raichu on it, and it's just a really cool mat, and it's in great condition, so that's what we would use to play on. In fact, I don't even think we ever used it. I think we used this table, but we never actually had a mat to properly play the game on. It's got little instructions on there. It's really cool. And then the one attack he has is Scratch, so, and it only has 30 HP, so you really need to get him to evolve into Primate, because he's only 30 HP. Fighting Pokemon are already kind of weak, and then he only has 10 attack. At least give him 20 attack for being a 30 HP Pokemon. Then we have an uncommon Poliwhirl. The artwork for him is really dope. Poliwhirl's always been cool to me. Kind of like a tadpole that has this cool just design, from adapting in nature, and can confuse you maybe, but it doesn't have any confusion based attacks. It evolves from Poliwag, which is another kind of tadpole-ish looking guy. Amnesia. Choose one of the defending Pokemon attacks. That Pokemon can't use that attack during your opponent's next turn. If it's a really OP Pokemon like Charizard or something, or like an evolved form version of something, then that could be really useful because they can't use their most powerful attack. But I don't know what that does for Poliwhirl. If they're already poisoned or something like that, or confused, that's perfect, because then they're confused, they might damage themselves or knock themselves out, and they can't use that really OP attack that they have, which for Charizard, the attack does like 120 or 100, something like that, which in the old game is ridiculous. Now the attacks do like 200, whatever. Double Slap, flip 2 coins. I love this attack. It's just all risk, but I love that about the original Pokemon game. Flip 2 coins. This attack does 30 times the number of heads, and it's so simple, and it's just short. It's very short to read, and people in our day and age, we don't have time to like learn the whole game. I honestly think people will come back to playing this old base set game more than the newer game, but that's probably a far out there thought. Just like think how lavish that is too. Like, you're playing with cards that are actually valuable now, like cards that every time you use them they're getting damaged and losing value. Like, who knows in 30-40 years how rare or how hard it'll be to find like base set cards. I'm just glad that I'm getting them now, even though I still feel late. Better late than never. There's a lot of people that started when XY came out in 2016. That was such a good time. I know one collector started in 2012 again. That was crazy. The prices were so much less. But I don't know. I enjoy buying in kind of this bubbly market where everything has more value. I kind of like that. It's kind of more security for me. Nidoran, Fury Swipes. Flip 3 coins. It does 10 damage times the number of heads. So another chance kind of risky attack. Call for family. Search your deck for any Nidoran or Nidoran, female or males, and put it on your bench. Shuffle your deck after. That's pretty cool. So you can stack up Nidorans, but that's 2 energies just to bring another Pokemon to the bench, which if you have a bunch of energies already, then that works. But I think it's kind of wasteful. Fury Swipes is sick though. Flip 3 coins. Nidoran already has 60 HP, and he could potentially do 30 damage with 1 energy. I am really liking Nidoran. So he is this like teal colored little mouse in a forest. Just really, really good artwork on him. Another forest Pokemon with Poison Sting. Flip a coin if heads defending Pokemon's poisoned. Weedle is dangerously good. He is in the Brushfire theme deck, one of the first base set theme decks. He is actually really good. Does 10 damage off the bat, and then you're flipping a coin, but every time you attack, you flip that coin. So you might poison them at some point. Like, even for a big Pokemon, poison is no-go. Poison is bad, because you can keep retreating your fresh Pokemon while they're getting poisoned and dying. So Weedle is just awesome. And if you have multiple Weedles on the field that you can swap out, that's even better, because it only takes 1 energy, so it's very effective. Alright, so we got the last 2. I'll actually do this one. This is a nice little Japanese Execute. We'll just pop him in there. They're just kind of eggs sitting. I always thought that was kind of a funny Pokemon, kind of an interesting, creative thing. Execute, kind of, you know, a play on Execute. I like that. The Executioner, and I guess that's kind of what the Executor was kind of joked off of. I don't know. But then this card's really nice. It's nothing fancy, but it is an Omanite, and I just really like the colors in this card. I just can really, really appreciate what this artist did. It has a Pokemon power, Clairvoyance. Your opponent plays with his or her hand face up. This power stops working while Omanite's asleep, confused, or paralyzed. So you get to see their whole hand, basically. They want to play, they're showing you what they're doing before they do it. And then Water Gun does 10 damage plus 10 more damage for each water energy attached to Omanite, but not used to pay for this attack's energy cost. You can't add more than 20 in this way. So it means you can do 3 energies on Omanite to do 30 damage, water damage. It's not great. It's not great. And then he only has 40 HP, which is kind of scary. But yeah, guys, that's a wrap. I'm going to see if this item finder could be worth anything, or if they're actually hard to pull. It doesn't have any really bad creases on it, but it has a lot of edge wear. I mean, the edge wear is like, it's a lot. You can just see it very easily. But yeah, it gives me that feeling like, or it's like a card that I've seen bigger YouTubers pull, and they're like, oh, I thought I was going to get something good. But it is a rare. We got uncommons. We got that rare. We got Charmander, which is just awesome to have base set Pokemon like that, like a starter. And then we got a first edition Cubone and a first edition Gloom. I'll just bring these back out just because that's really a nice little treat. They're not Shadows first edition, but they're base set unlimited first editions, and those are still nice to have. Okay, guys. Peace out, Brett. Thank you. And we'll call that the content for tonight.